Fans, we are live once again on the Hannibal TV on YouTube with your full results from WrestleMania 41 Night 2. And what a night it was. You're going to have to bear with me in terms of some of the more expansive results will be forthcoming, I'm sure, by Hannibal tomorrow. This is a rundown with some limited commentary. Got a few things to say about the main event, but we'll get to that in just a minute. In the opening bout, Io Sky beat Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair and retained her championship. The next match was Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest in a Sin City street fight. I thought that was an excellent match, very hardcore, reminiscent of some of the better hardcore matches in the past. McIntyre won with the Claymore into a chair. Again, a very physical match with some hard way bleeding on the part of Drew McIntyre from the back. In the Intercontinental Championship Fatal Four-Way featuring Braun Breaker, the champion, Finn Balor, not Rey Mysterio, but Dominic Mysterio, and Penta. Dominic Mysterio pinned Finn Balor to win the title. Thought that was a bit of a surprise, to be honest, but my broadcast partner over in Riders Wrestling Review on the Cheap Heat Productions podcast network called that one, and actually had a perfect score on the evening. So shout out to Mr. Ryder, the Big Bad Wolf, on his prognostication abilities. Next was the match to celebrate Randy Orton's 20th WrestleMania appearance, a mystery opponent, and there was a great deal of speculation as to who that would be, including some AAA stars, perhaps, given the big announcement yesterday of the purchase of AAA by WWE. But it turned out to be Joe Hendry, the TNA champion, and he put in a good showing. It was just the match that one would expect it to be in terms of offense, but Orton ultimately won with an RKO out of nowhere and then followed it up after putting Mr. Hendry over with another RKO, but Orton looked quite amazing in terms of his physical shape. He's right at a peak, and I'm sure will be a part of the main event picture going forward. The next match was AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. A bit of a schmoz there with an attempted interference on the part of one of Logan Hall's flunkies. Then Karrion Kross came out and attempted to get AJ Styles to use the brass knucks, but AJ threw it away and then got caught on the apron attempting a springboard move. Paul pinned him with the pulverizer. I would say out of all of the matches involving male talents on the evening, that was probably one of the weakest. Then the next match was the Women's Tag Team Championship, which featured the return of Becky Lynch, the Emerald Islands pride and joy, and a great celebration on the part of my broadcast partner, Morris Shorthall, who was just pleased as punch to see her return. She teamed with another female, and I knew I was going to botch the pronunciation there. I believe it was Lyra Valkyria. Excuse me about that. I'm not up on the WWE Women's division that deeply. They won over Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Another interesting return following that right afterwards was the return of Stone Cold Steve Austin. He came out in a quad and drove around the ring several times, Maybe at the end he crashed it into the barrier. Maybe he had a few, not sure. But he cut a promo for the announcement of the attendance, both for night two, which was 63,226, and the two-night total of 124,693. So all the speculation with respect to ticket sales, I guess, proved to be not a bad drawing event or two-night event. Not sure in terms of how many of those were actual comps, sales, etc. But I'm sure Dave Meltzer will get into that. And then in the main event featuring Cody Rhodes versus John Cena, that I thought it was a pretty interesting match. John Cena worked a very Larry Zbyszko-esque stalling type of situation for the first few minutes. And when he got into it, very, very good, strong heel work. And then into the match, I didn't get the exact time, but Travis Scott showed up and was going to interfere and eventually got physical with Cody in the ring. Cody gave him the crossroads, put him outside of the ring, and the story of the match was Cody had an opportunity to use a belt shot on Cena and embrace his dark side, which he did not. Ultimately, he chose not to hit Cena with the belt, but when Cena got the chance after getting the upper hand with, I believe it was another kick to the midsection or the low blow area, he did in fact use the belt shot and 1, 2, 3, setting a new world championship record for WWE of 17 world titles. And they reference Ric Flair on a number of occasions, and anybody watching this channel is well aware of the fact that the actual number of Ric Flair's title reigns is somewhat in dispute, anywhere between the 16 acknowledged, but also all the way up to 20 something and change. So it was a historic moment. Nonetheless, of note was the fact that there was no Rock involved in the match whatsoever. They barely referenced him, as a matter of fact, from what I could ascertain out of the commentary. So that was an interesting situation in terms of him. I'm sure there'll be some form of discussion about that down the line. But the big story of the night being John Cena winning the World Championship for WWE record-setting 17 times. I'd say after having watched last night as well, a better card overall, in my opinion, highlighted by some of those returns, and it will definitely be interesting business going forward. Setting up SummerSlam Raw will be interesting. A lot of folks are talking about Cena perhaps facing Cody Rhodes in the rematch in SummerSlam and dropping the title, turning babyface again, and finishing up his career on a high note. But man, it doesn't seem that the very exorbitant ticket prices hurt the draw of either night of WrestleMania. And with the purchase of AAA, it only appears that TKO is consolidating the wrestling industry even more. But that's it for the quick hitter full results edition for WrestleMania 41 Night 2. Be sure to stay tuned to the Hannibal TV for updates. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification button so you don't miss anything. And like this video. I'm Jack Kilby, asking all of you to support independent wrestling. While we love the big companies, independent wrestling is definitely going to be more important in terms of the next generation and the new talents to come. And also like this video if you enjoyed it. Have a great evening, everyone.